Hey my cookies, today I'm showing you how to make a restaurant quality hibachi dinner in your own home, in your own kitchen. And let's get started with my favorite part of the whole meal, the yum yum sauce. Okay cookies, grab a bowl and start with some mayo. Now our granulated sugar, and then the spices, some garlic powder, paprika, cayenne pepper, and some tomato paste as well. Don't worry, I'll have the recipe link in the description box with all those details. Then pour on some melted butter. Give everything a good whisk. It was a little bit too thick for my liking, so I added some water. I ended up adding 2 tablespoons of water, mixing it well, and that was perfect. We're going to allow this to refrigerate overnight to give those flavors a chance to marry each other and develop. I'm only doing steak and shrimp today, but in the recipe link, I did include the instructions, ingredients for chicken as well. So make sure you check out the recipe link in the description box. So let's head to the stove. Now cookies, I'm using my 2-burner cast iron griddle. You can use a skillet, a pan, a wok, whatever you have. You don't have to run out and buy anything. Now cookies, I'm heating up my griddle and adding vegetable oil to it. I'm adding quite a bit because I'm doing all of my cooking on the griddle. If you're using separate pans, just add a little bit at a time as needed. I like to start off by cooking the rice first, so I just added some sweet chopped onions onto my griddle and I'm going to saute them until they start to brown. Now I'm going to add in my rice. It's pre-cooked and I cooked it about 2 hours beforehand and put it in the fridge. You never want to use freshly cooked rice. You will have a mushy mess. And I'm also adding in some eggs, some scrambled eggs that I scrambled in a separate pan. Now add the butter, and if you're using cast iron, please keep the heat low because I don't want you burning up your rice and then blaming me. It's not my fault. Keep the heat low, okay? So now what did I do? Oh, the soy sauce. I added some soy sauce. I didn't add any additional salt because I didn't need it, but if you'd like, just taste it, adjust it to your taste buds. But the soy sauce was enough for me. Just continue to toss everything around. Allow that soy sauce to coat each grain of rice. Feel free to add peas, carrots, whatever you like to this rice. I'm going off of my favorite hibachi restaurant. They don't use any of that, just egg, onion, and rice. But I am going to add some chopped fresh green onions. Now we're going to remove it from our griddle and work on the vegetables. Now for the veggies, I'm using zucchini and onion. Feel free to use broccoli, carrots, whatever you like. I'm adding the zucchini first because they take a little bit longer to brown than the onions. And I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to them to get it to release that moisture. Once they start to brown, I add in the onions, then the soy sauce. I'm also going to add just a little bit of sesame seed oil. That's for flavor. It's going to give it that authentic restaurant style flavor. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all get it. Just a little bit though. That stuff is thick. So just saute it. Keep that heat low. Now on the other end of my griddle, I'm going to add that steak while the veggies are cooking. I'm using sirloin steak. You can use whatever you want. I cut it up in bite-sized pieces. Now I'm going to add some garlic butter. I can find this butter at my grocery store, but if you can't find it, don't worry. I have a recipe and that link in the description box for the butter. So don't worry. Check it out. I'm going to add salt and pepper to the steak. Very, very little salt because we're using soy sauce and we know that soy sauce has salt in it already. So use the salt very sparingly. And there's the soy sauce. Now we're just going to flip the steak over and allow it to cook to your level of doneness. Let's check on the vegetables. Vegetables looking all good, so let's take them off. In place of the veggies, I added my shrimp and the garlic butter. I'm not going to add any additional soy sauce or sesame oil because on my griddle, there's some left over from the veggie. So we're just going to sear those shrimp. Come back here. The last ingredient I'm adding is optional, but I love it. Teriyaki sauce. I'm going to add it to both the steak and the shrimp. It just adds... Oh, just do it. You'll see. Look at that steak, man. And the shrimp get the sauce as well. I'm not adding any lemon juice because my garlic butter already contains it. If yours doesn't, feel free to squeeze some lemon juice on there. The steak is good to go. Let's eat. And cookies, we just made hibachi at the house. All right. The recipe link will be down there in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, be blessed.